Hey, it is 3 o'clock. We are going to get started with our Healthy Hormones Naturally presentation. It's fun seeing you jump on here. I would love to see where you're joining me from. So if you just want to pop in the chat, let me know what state or country you're in joining me. I'll be able to say hello and we'll get started. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Farrah Collver. I lead an international team of women who are changing the tide of healthcare. They are taking care of their own families, sharing with their communities, and making a huge difference in the world around them as far as healthcare is concerned. They've really taken control. They have taken this kind of information and implemented it and made huge changes. And I just want to be able to share it farther and wider. So I'm joining here on YouTube to make this public and to invite you to share with me. I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint so that you can see the slides. I'd love to invite you to take it or leave it. You can listen. I will be reading and talking about everything that is on the slides in case you're in a place where you can't look at your computer. And also everything that I have to say is on the slides. And that way, if you are putting a baby to sleep or helping kids with homework and need to have the volume off, you can just click through and read it as well. So I'm going to jump on. And then, you know what, I'm going to be on here to take a few questions at the end. And I would love it if you would like to stick around. I will definitely try to get all of your questions answered. So. All right. Here we go. Healthy hormones naturally. I'm just going to pop over and ask my husband if he can check with our assistant to see if everything is going well for the broadcast and it's visible and going well. And then I will click through here. Looks like you can see the screen. All right, of course, I need to tell you right off the bat at the beginning that the information in this class, in this webinar, and this PowerPoint by doTERRA, whose products we're going to talk about a little bit, is not intended in any way to diagnose, prescribe, treat, or cure any disease. It's information easily found elsewhere, free to the public, and I have compiled it here and also gained and gathered a lot from some experts that I have been able to learn from. So I'd love to give a huge thank you to Dr. Lynn Thompson and Dr. David Hill. They have taken the time to run seminars and workshops around the country to share this information. And I think it's just incredibly important, but I definitely want to give honor to them that I learned the most of it from. So let's just get into it with a little bit of the science at the beginning so that you can see where we're going. If it's a little heavy for you, don't worry, just feel free to tune me out for a little bit until we get into the what can I do about it part. But I think it's important to see where we've come from and where the problems are happening so that we understand the ways to stop the problem. So a hormone is a chemical released by a cell or a gland in one part of the body that sends out messages that affect cells in other parts of the organism. In essence, it's a chemical messenger that transports a signal from one cell to another. Cells respond to a hormone when they express a specific receptor for that hormone. The hormone binds to the receptor, resulting in the activation of a signal that ultimately leads to a cell-type specific response. Now, like I said, I know it's a little heavy, so let's break it down a little bit to make it simpler. Hormones are chemical messengers that affect important physiological processes. How's that? Everything from growth to every change in the body through all of our life. It's hormones that make that process happen. And one of the jobs of hormones is to help your body adapt to its environment And that's why they're constantly changing. And that's a good thing. So I'd love it if you are taking notes here, and I think you'll want to at the end when we start talking about what to do about it, is just to write down changing hormones is a very good thing. So hide the sharing bar. I don't know how to do that, but will you make sure Luthien not on the internet? All right. I have my family here with me. I work from home, so I have all the fun of sharing my internet with kids and the whole 9 yards. All right. Here's a little bit more. Like I said, a little bit of the sciencey, but I want you to know what we're talking about. If you only remember a few terms, let this be one of them. It's exogenous. So exogenous refers to an action or object coming from outside of a system. It's the opposite of endogenous, which is something created from within the system. And here's where the problem comes in. Are you ready? A variety of exogenous modern chemical compounds have a hormone-like effect on us, on both humans and animals. Okay? Their interference with the synthesis and secretion and transport and binding and action, or even the elimination of natural hormones in the body, can change the balance or the homeostasis. It can change the reproductive process. It can change development and behavior, just as our endogenously produced hormones do. And usually that change is always in the negative. Okay? So our hormones are always for the good, and those exogenous hormones are for the bad. So exogenous hormones from chemicals are referred to as xenoestrogens. And xenoestrogens, unfortunately, give estrogen a bit of a bad rap. And here's the deal. Estrogen is a pretty misunderstood hormone. And the reason is because we hear about estrogen dominance a lot, and we end up thinking that there's something wrong with our body, that we're producing too much estrogen, that there's something going on wrong here. And I'd just love to take a moment and encourage you right now. There is nothing wrong with your body. Your body is capable and wants to produce the perfect balance of hormones for you. The problem is that we run into these xenoestrogens from all the chemicals we're surrounded with. They can be synthetic, they can be natural. The problem is they block receptor sites and they interfere with the proper intake of natural estrogen and progesterone in women and testosterone in men, and actually a host of other hormones that we don't talk about as much. All right, I'd also like to introduce you to phyto or plant-based estrogens. Write that one down. Phytoestrogens are going to come up a lot and be pretty important. Phytoestrogens are gentle, plant-based estrogens that help clean hormone receptor or binding sites and block xenoestrogens. And sometimes there can be a lot of misunderstanding and confusion around phytoestrogens. And the fear is that they're an estrogen that just continues to add more estrogen to the body, when in fact, that's not the case at all. They actually help clear toxic estrogen out of the body and stop it from binding to our cells. And that is a really, really good thing. All right, so xenoestrogens are structurally similar to estrogen, and they act as false messengers. They interfere with normal hormone activity in the body. And check this out. You can all Google this list. If you Google a list of common xenoestrogens, you're going to pull up things like commercial dairy that has growth hormone, birth control pills, soy, one of our most genetically modified foods, anything that contains parabens, air fresheners, styrofoams, sunscreens, BHA. BHA is a food preservative that if you look at your box of favorite crackers or the breakfast cereal you feed to your kids in the morning, BHA will most likely be on the side, okay? And then look down here, red dye, and then we have PCBs that are found in electrical oils, lubricants, adhesives, paints, things that somebody in mechanics or building or construction would be working around. I put that on here not so that we create fear. I don't want anybody to be worried your husband is exposed to xenoestrogens, but I want you to be empowered and aware that if something looks wrong, it's fixable. It's not him, okay? In fact, I have a friend right now that has a little baby. He reached out to me and he said, Farrah, we want to have another baby, but it's not happening and it's on my end. It's my part. And what can I do? And I got him hooked up with some supplements, some phytoestrogens, some things to clear toxic xenoestrogens out of his system. And I think their baby just turned 1 recently. And it's just so empowering to know that your body's not broken. All right, some common hormone inhibitors. This starts to become important when we talk about fertility, especially when it comes to progesterone, producing enough progesterone to conceive and sustain a pregnancy. So poor diet, xenoestrogens right up there at the top, inflammation, stress, a sedentary lifestyle, and environmental toxins. And that one could be right up there with xenoestrogens. But we're going to kind of unpack this a little bit, talk about some things that that inhibit that hormone production. Stress is a hormone inhibitor. It changes the uptake of hormones in the body, okay? Just think about that for a minute. Think about, we, especially in the US, have become comfortable with a certain level of stress. It's something that busy is kind of, busy is something that we're comfortable with. Stress is something that we're comfortable with. And then we wonder why our hormones are off. Hormones are not a mystery, okay? There are things that affect our hormones, and we have the opportunity to start changing our lifestyle a little bit. Here's another one. A sedentary lifestyle does not induce the body to produce hormones like an active lifestyle does. Actually, there's just a report, I need to get the citation from the medical journal, that said activity is now being found to be just as effective as hormone replacement therapy in inducing the natural production of hormones in the body. And that is amazingly good news for everyone. All right, stress. Here's a little bit how it works with stress and some of the things that are being produced in the body with stress. Stress leads to cortisol production and adrenaline. So cortisol can lead to estrogen dominance in the body. And the reason is because it competes for the building blocks with the same things that create progesterone. So if your body is continually stressed and producing cortisol, it is not able to produce enough progesterone. They're both created from the same raw material, so to speak. And your body's gonna produce cortisol first. So reducing stress, reducing cortisol can allow your body to put that work into producing progesterone, okay? And then adrenaline. Adrenaline pumps through our blood and can interfere with our cell receptors. Now, that's been a good thing for our ancestors. Of course, when they were, going to war, avoiding wild animals, they needed to not get pregnant at those moments, okay? Adrenaline blocks some of those natural processes and stops it until the body is in a time of safety and rest. So adrenaline is more like a natural cell interference that unfortunately kicks into gear when we don't really need it, okay? The body does not differentiate between whether you are having an argument on the phone with your spouse or whether you're being chased by a grizzly bear. It's going to produce some adrenaline, okay? So as we learn to reduce our stress, as we learn to take care of our body is going to be able to come more into balance hormonally, all right? Now, you know this. This is not something that we need to spend a lot of time on. There's a few things that I was new information to me when I started learning it. I didn't realize that excess estrogen could lead to things like allergic reactions, memory loss. Memory, not me. As moms, we need all that we can get. We have a hard enough time keeping up with our kiddos without having hormonal issues and memory loss. So this is just a quick snapshot of some of the things that hormone disruptors can cause. We also have estrogen dominance in men. And remember, from here out, when we're talking about estrogen dominance, we're talking about xenoestrogens. We're talking about exposure to toxins that act like estrogen in the body, okay? Estrogen dominance in men is most commonly caused by factors such as obesity, alcoholism, or exposure to xenoestrogens. That, again, is actually really good news. It means it's not a mystery, and it means there's something that we can do, okay? Prostate issues in men often occur when testosterone receptors are blocked by xenoestrogens. This information gives me so much hope for my husband, for my son, for the men in my life, because prostate issues we don't have to wonder. We don't have to wonder like, oh, am I just suddenly going to get struck with prostate issues? It's no, I can start taking measures now to clear xenoestrogens out of the body so that cell receptors can bind to the testosterone and work properly. This is actually really great news. I know it's a little stressful. We're going to reduce that stress in just a minute. Stick with me because there's a little bit more to consider. Early onset puberty in both boys and girls. Breast growth in boys, infertility is a big one. And it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is why I wanted to offer this webinar right now, because there are things that we can do to proactively take care of our health, even though we can all be affected by hormone disruptors. Are you still with me? Are you sticking with me here? If you have any questions so far, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll check through and answer them when we're done. I think we're going to have plenty of time to answer questions. We're moving along nicely, so feel free to type those in and I will definitely get to them. This is the good part. What can we do? All right, the first thing is we can take a couple minutes and relieve some stress. So if you are already an essential oil user, if you would just jump up and go grab your bottle of frankincense or lavender or lemon or peppermint, whichever oils you use, put a drop in your hands, take a breath, and just inhale them for a minute. This is amazing to me. Are you ready for this? I absolutely love it. When we inhale odor molecules, we have receptor sites up in our olfactory system that bind to those odor molecules and take that information up into the limbic system of our brain, where it stimulates chemistry that can bring a calming effect to our whole body. Okay, so listen to this. Dr. Hill mentioned this, and I just love it. It's one of my favorite health quotes ever. It's, we may not be able to change our circumstances, but we can change our chemistry. You might be in a job that you can't get out of. You might be going through a really rough patch in your marriage. You might be having a difficult time with your children. That's a circumstance that isn't going to change overnight. But your body doesn't have to take the brunt of that, okay? There's a lot of things that we can do to reduce stress. There's other people you can follow that are going to teach you other techniques with mindfulness and yoga and meditation and time in nature and the love of friends. My expertise is in essential oils, and what I understand and what I want to share with you from that is the way that essential oils can work. And they work best when you take off the top and just use them. Inhale them, rub them on the back of your neck, the bottoms of your feet, on your temples. Put them to work every day. Don't let your body get stuck in that cycle of stress. With essential oils bringing new chemistry for our body to work with, it actually is like putting a stick in a bike tire wheel. So it stops that process. It's like stopping the spokes from turning. And it gives our body something new to work with. It's pretty amazing. You can jump on and read research on essential oils, such as research on oils like rose and patchouli and their ability to decrease blood adrenaline. It's pretty amazing. Just inhaling these oils can cause a 30% decrease in blood adrenaline. Isn't that amazing? I love that. I love it that scent works with our internal pharmacy to be able to change our chemistry. So consider these oils as you're starting to take some notes on things that you can do to just relieve some stress and allow your body to come into balance a little bit. If you're familiar with the aroma touch technique and you know somewhere that you can get it, I highly recommend it. If you're dealing with chronic stress or hormonal issues, particularly infertility or pain during menopause, the aroma touch technique is created to bring the body back into a state of balance. It's like a reset for the body. It's pretty amazing. There were some studies done with it for menopausal women, the aroma touch technique, 1 time a week for 8 weeks. They had a significant reduction in hot flashes, depression, and pain. Pretty amazing stuff. And I have several friends now that actually were able to conceive and carry their babies through using the aroma touch technique to help balance their bodies. If you don't know about the aroma touch technique, you can look at aromatouchtechnique.com, find a trainer in your area, and actually go learn it so you can have it to do for your own friends and family. Listen, taking care of our health doesn't have to be expensive. It absolutely is something we should invest in, but there's things that we can do without expense. That starts with avoiding xenoestrogens. So we've talked a lot about xenoestrogens, where they come from, what they do. These are some just simple ways to start avoiding them. Use glass and ceramics to store food and water. Skip the plastics, okay? Detergents, household cleaners with less chemicals, hormone-free meats and dairies, organic produce. Sometimes organic feels a little bit cliche, but when you think about it all adding up together, those pesticides and insecticides and chemicals that work as hormone disruptors, this is where everything we do matters, okay? And then, of course, avoid skin lotions and creams with paraben. Just avoid them like the plague. You don't even want them. When my daughters are given lotions for Christmas, I buy them from them. I'm like, I will buy that from you. You can go out and buy something else that doesn't have it in them, and it goes in the trash. So, all right. Moving on, nutrition is the rule for lasting change in the body. We need to build a foundation for our body to draw on, okay? We need to give the hormonal system the ability to react. And everything in the body runs on nutrition, okay? And unfortunately, we all have gaps. I got to hear a really neat nurse friend of mine in Oklahoma. We put on a workshop together, and she was talking about the nutritional gaps that she sees in people. And when we can level that out, when we can fill in those gaps, is when we have the best ability for our health to up-level in a lot of ways. So the very best nutritional supplements that I've found, and I say this because these are the supplements that I've seen the most impressive results from within my own circle of friends, from reducing pain, better sleep, ability to conceive, more energy. It has just been amazing. And that is doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Supplements. We want to give the body the nutrients to manufacture the precursors to hormones, okay? Pretty awesome stuff. Progesterone. Progesterone is affected by nutrition, stress, and toxicity. So I just started talking about nutrition. Beta carotene, vitamin E, B6, magnesium, all of these nutrients stimulate progesterone production in the body. That's awesome, you guys. That's amazing. It means that low progesterone doesn't have to be a mystery, okay? We can reduce stress. We can supplement with added nutrition. And there's a few things that we can do with essential oils. So thyme, oregano, and geranium oil have been noted for their progesterone support. And grapefruit oil in particular has a really neat action in the body where it can go in and basically prevent cortisol from blocking progesterone production. So what that means is, as we take in the good stuff from grapefruit essential oil, it helps reduce that cortisol in the body. Our body is more able to produce progesterone. This is one of the key essential oils that the women in my community have used to be able to overcome infertility. So if you're taking notes and you're thinking infertility, Lifelong Vitality Supplements, the best prenatal vitamin you'll ever take, grapefruit essential oil, other oils to reduce stress, and we're going to talk about a few other things, okay? We need to get rid of those toxins. We need to get rid of that toxic estrogen, those xenoestrogens, and the body eliminates through the digestive process. So the better we can do getting our digestion going, cleaning up our digestive tract, reducing some inflammation within the digestive tract, staying hydrated, complex carbohydrates, fiber, exercise, and supplement, the quicker our body is going to be able to get rid of the toxins, okay? So this is a little bit deeper into hormone support, because we're talking about the big picture here. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I'm not going to end this webinar telling you that you have to start with everything, okay? What I'd love for you to do is just jot down some notes of what resonates with you right now. because everybody can start somewhere. If you've done a few things already and you're looking for the next step, this is definitely it. If you have somebody that is a doTERRA wellness advocate in your life and can teach you about digestive cleansing with doTERRA's GX and PB Assist products and the 3-month cleanse, definitely look into that. If you don't, please send me an email and I would be happy to show it to you and explain it to you a little bit more. All right, control toxic overload. Our bodies were created to be able to deal with toxins in an amazing way. Our liver and kidneys, our filtering organs, were created for that. However, never were we meant to handle the amount of toxins that we're exposed to now. Did you know that even our pillows are sprayed with fire retardant before we buy them? It's pretty much unavoidable. So, as often as we're exposed to toxins, we should be helping our body in clearing them out. That's where citrus essential oils come in. Citrus essential oils are great detoxifiers. If you've ever seen that commercial for the scrubbing bubbles, they go through and scrub the shower. Think of citrus oils like that in the body, scrubbing the cells of toxins, dislodging them so they can be passed out of the body. There's another really powerful essential oil blend. It's the Zendocrine oil blend. It has oils like geranium and grapefruit and rosemary, clove. It has a few others like juniper and tangerine, specifically for supporting those physical or those filtering organs, the liver and kidneys. This is an oil that I'll probably send you a little bit more information on. I think it's a very underutilized oil when it comes to supporting our filtering organs and detoxing the body. All right, and now we're going to talk about phytoestrogens a little bit, okay? So remember in the beginning I said we got to be careful that we don't misunderstand phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens do not add estrogen to the body. In fact, what they do is they help clear toxic estrogen out. And what we have through doTERRA is a phytoestrogen supplement that we can take that helps clear toxic estrogen out of the body. And this is the one supplement that I would love to see every woman have, and most men. The men that are taking it and have had amazing support with testosterone levels has been fantastic. It isn't that men don't produce enough testosterone. It's that their cells are blocked by toxic estrogen and they can't uptake it. So a few months of phytoestrogen can make a huge difference. And then for women at every phase of life, from a teenager with debilitating cramps, because that's not normal, that's a hormonal disruption, to somebody going through menopause, having taken bioidentical hormones maybe, or bioidentical progesterone, to be able to change to a natural phytoestrogen, inexpensive supplement is pretty amazing. So we're going to talk a little bit about this supplement and what it can do and how it works in the body. So there's oils that can help clean receptor sites. We talked a little bit about citrus oils, clove and cassia are cleansing oils as well. But the phytoestrogen supplement is one that I wouldn't be without ever. In short, it cleans cell receptor sites and blocks xenoestrogens. And I hope that you're coming to see that that's something that everybody needs. Here's the thing. And Dr. Hill really said it best. He summed it up by saying with phytoestrogens, we don't have to figure out if we're estrogen dominant or deficient. Phytoestrogens are adaptogenic to regulate the body. Adaptogenic is another word I'd like you to become familiar with. Watch for the term adaptogens to start showing up from your functional medicine doctors, your naturopaths, your nutritionist. Adaptogens, I am convinced, are the medicine of our generation. It's no longer going in like a wrecking ball and forcing a change in the body. It's no longer trying to figure out what dosage of this or that to give. When we work with plants that our body knows how to use perfectly, when we work with adaptogens, plants that are adaptogenic, it takes all the worry out. It takes all the risk out. And this is something where you can take the time to figure out how it works best for your own body. So for example, I'll put my daughter out there as an example. She was taking 1 phytoestrogen a day because that's kind of the recommended to start out premenopausal. And it did nothing for her, nothing at all. 1 a day of this supplement that I just love and I've seen so much good come from did nothing. She was still missing days of work, okay? Every month. 2 phytoestrogen completely changed that. 2 phytoestrogen and she barely knew she was going to start her period. She maybe had cramps. She hasn't missed a day of work since she started. She upped it to 2. So that's where I'm talking about adaptogenic within the body, okay? Being able to regulate and do for ourselves and use our own intuition without risk of taking too much. Pretty amazing stuff. I have testimonies like this throughout my team everywhere, okay? I wish that I could share them all with you here. In fact, I had to cut this presentation by half because half of it is full of the stories of people in my community that have absolutely been able to regulate their hormones. They've been able to clear the toxins and take their life back in a huge way, okay? It's impressive. It's worth me jumping on here and sharing with you, and absolutely I want you to have it. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about managing symptoms. I have just a couple more slides for you actually, and then we're going to wrap it up and I'll answer a few questions. So we're going to talk about the Clary Calm blend. Clary Calm is a blend of oils from doTERRA. These oils that are in there were specifically chosen for their properties that help balance hormones within the body, okay? There's oils like geranium and clary sage, vitex, carrot seed oil. It's really amazing. It can be rolled on the back of the neck. It can be rolled over the abdomen. It can be used every single day to stay balanced month to month, or it can be used just for particular symptoms, okay? Consider frankincense, geranium for disorders of the uterus, such as fibroids or cysts. I have to add in here the blend Citrus Bliss, which actually is free this month with a 200 PV order. Citrus Bliss, I just had a friend tell me she was able to take down breast fibroids with castor oil packing and Citrus Bliss. So I don't have time to talk about castor oil packing, but you can definitely look it up. But Citrus Bliss was a game changer for her. Cramps. Consider Roman chamomile and bergamot with a warm compress, okay? Sometimes we gotta add that self-care element in there and be still enough to do a little self-care, do a little bit of warm compress, along with some of these very muscle relieving oils, okay? Hot flashes, peppermint, geranium, the Clary Calm blend, a blend called Balance, clary sage, citrus oils, all are very effective for hot flashes. Peppermint, you can put in a spray bottle with a little bit of distilled water, keep it on hand. Libido, Lang Lang, clary sage, the Clary Calm blend, the Immortelle blend. Amazing for this. We'll actually do a whole class on this. I'm excited to offer it. So watch for that one coming. All right, and then fatigue. And this is actually my last slide. Lifelong vitality supplements. Supplementing and, like I said, filling in those gaps goes a long way for fatigue, okay? Peppermint. Peppermint essential oil is invigorating. It picks you up. It can help you focus. Citrus oils and oils like ginger are amazing for fatigue. I include this slide in a lot in here about it because I feel like fatigue is one of the lesser talked about hormonal imbalance symptoms. And we need to address it and we need to validate it. White fur for any kind of exhaustion. If you have a bottle of white fur, absolutely keep using it. If you don't, jump on and order a bottle of Siberian fir, okay? Basil to help restore healthy rhythms of sleep and activity, okay? And then there's a blend. My very favorite blend is called the Aroma Touch blend. It has peppermint and basil along with grapefruit and cypress. It's an amazing blend for any kind of fatigue. All right, I am going to stop sharing the PowerPoint and check in. Oh, I've got some sun going here and see if I can get rid of that and see if you have any questions and wrap it up and try to keep it short for you here. Let's see. I hope I can utilize my chat well. Doesn't look like I can. Looks like I might have made a mistake. All righty. I'm not seeing any questions come in through chat. So I'm going to wish you a wonderful day. If you have any questions for me, my email, you can email me at is Farrah doTERRA @yahoo.com. Also check out my Instagram, Flourish Essentials. I answer questions there. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for joining.